Hello everyone, I am Starflesh Pizza and today we are doing a second part to the I Redraw AI art series. Basically, if you don't know how this works, I go on Pinterest, I search up AIOCs, I grab 3 ones that grab my interest, and then I redraw them in my own art style. I actually tried to keep a theme for this one, which ended up being monster girls. However, one of them is an exception, but I will show you later and I will tell you how they fit in. Basically, they fight people with their monster powers or whatever, I don't know. It hasn't really been set in stone yet, but I just think it's a cool idea and to make them my own instead of just the AI art. Anyways, as always, I will give a possible flash warning as these are speed draws in the background while I talk over my art process, which obviously can show flashing images, so you have been warned. And if you have any name suggestions for these characters down in the comments below, I will feature you in the next time I do one of these videos and you will be credited. Let's get into the first one. Zombie Girl. Again, as always, I started off by circling the bits I wanted to keep in as they are AI generated and that means they are less cohesive. If you have watched my last part, you know that I will generally try to keep the poses the same, except from a few changes which I feel are necessary to show off how the character acts. Since this was a zombie girl, I wanted her to lean a bit more to the side as if she had scoliosis or something like that. Maybe not scoliosis as in itself, but maybe that she suffered an injury and she now looks like that. Please ignore the foot I drew. The little red guy on the right is Jake and he will be staying with us for the rest of the sketching phase. There's not really much to talk about here. I kept the face generally the same. I tried to give her a smile. That looked uncanny, so I split it down the middle like they do in animes, and for some reason that just kind of fixed it. Also, I don't know what I'm doing with the legs here. I did try to fix it in the end product, not even the end product, in the line art phase, and it still doesn't look correct to me, and you'll see it that much better with the skirt as well. I tried to draw clothes and hair in different colors than the base, since I do not want to get muddled up and line something as if it was a different thing than what it actually was. The hair clips I kept mostly the same, except I took away whatever the white blob on the right side of her head was supposed to be. It didn't make sense, and I thought about putting a skeleton hand just to make it look, cool, but I couldn't do that, and that would be, weird anyways. The clothes I actually kept the same, but for some reason I really wanted to show her abdomen, so I kind of just rolled up her top into one of those, whatever you call those knot things that people make to make makeshift crop tops. I also decided against putting bandages on her socks instead of just making them, busted up and worn. Here's the place where you actually start to see the issue with the legs, because it doesn't really look like they're attached to the body. It kind of just looks like an accessory she has on the bottom. But besides from that, I actually think this is one of my best works to date. I'm especially proud of her front-facing hand because I did justice from ammo. Yikes. Anyways, I added a scrunchie to her hand instead of making the, whatever the cufflinks you call to the gloves are, because I didn't really understand what they were supposed to be, and I think there was enough flowers added. Anyways, I really need a script for my videos. I'm just going willy-nilly hoping things sound good. Here we are at the outline stage. This is boring as shit to watch, so I might just tell you some things about the character I wanted to say. Her weapon was supposed to be wielding guts, obviously cartoony guts, but I couldn't find any references when I typed that cartoony guts, anime guts, stuff like that. It always came up with random stuff that I wasn't looking for, and you'll see that at like the end of this speed draw. And with no references and no idea how to draw them that way, I basically just had to scrap the idea entirely. So just, imagine she's holding like pink guts. I want her to be like a yandere. I think the reason she died was because she was following her senpai. She got hit by like a truck or something. She had to get stitches and a lot of bandages, get fixed up. But then she died in hospital, and now she's looking for her senpai. I guess that's her motive. She's fighting to get her senpai back.
We don't fight for no reason down in these parts. You always gotta have a motive, otherwise a character is boring.
No offense. Anyways, you can see me here fiddling with the legs, because I thought they were too thin, and that's why they didn't look proportionally correct. Then I elongated them, and I just thought, oh, this looks alright. It's my favorite part. Coloring. I love shading better than coloring, but it's worth it because it looks good in the end anyways, so yeah. Yeah, I basically just dropped every color I saw on her and just gave it to her. And with the stuff I added in myself, I basically just added colors that I thought were being less used in the characters so it could be more cohesive. I think I pillow shade. If you have any recommendations on how to stop, can you please tell me? I need help. Again, there's not really much to say, so I'm gonna keep saying facts about her. I made her really skinny because not only can I relate to that, but because I think that zombies should deteriorate and maybe even starve. Obviously I can't really draw skin and bones all that well, but I think I did well on her with her abdomen and stuff. My favorite part about her is that how she feels so lively despite being dead. She has so much life behind her eyes. We love irony in this house. Also, quick side note, I've been trying to make more long-form videos, so if you like them or prefer them over how I usually do my content, please tell me. I know I'm asking you to tell me a lot of things in the comments, but honestly, where else are you supposed to tell me? I don't know why, but I decided that I'll fix the colors underneath the line art just to try and make it look cool without the lines, but I still prefer the line art to be on top anyways. If you're curious about how I decide what color I decide to shade my character in, I usually just pick a color I think is most used in their design or that I think will complement them greatly. It looks a little crazy when I do it, but it's worth it in the end. Makes it look less plain and flat and just gives it more of an oomph. You can see here that I went to try and draw the guts, but it didn't really look good. You can see that for yourself. I don't know what I was thinking. I can't draw guts. And, oh, jump scare. Anyways, I even decided to try and do a low gut, but it didn't work, so this is it. Here is the finished product. She is my favorite out of the rest of the roster that I have. Again, if you have any name suggestions, please tell me in the comments below. Let's get to the experiment. This girl is what I call the experiment, since she has an eye on the side of her head, and I thought, oh, that's weird. And then I also looked at her fingers and thought, okay, well, she's definitely some type of sea experiment or something like that. I didn't really match the pose on this one, not only because it was a little difficult to figure out the proportions, but also because it gives her a bit more personality than if she would just stand like that. I tried to keep a more laid back approach to her since she seemed quite tired and dull in her photo. I don't think I draw enough short hair on my characters, so I enjoyed having to draw short hair on this girl. Time for her motive. She escaped a lab when she was about 17. She was put in this lab when she was 3 because her mother needed money. So when she escaped, she vowed to herself that she would find her mother and make her life a living hell. She finds this zombie girl and thinks she's a weirdo and tries to stay away from her, but zombie girl is an extrovert and immediately goes to talk to her. So this experiment girl was getting very annoyed until she brought up one thing. This thing was gaming, and she was immediately interested. She asked the zombie girl, what is it? And then they started talking about it. And then they became friends. Yay! Anyways, now zombie girl and the experiment girl are besties. And possible friends to lovers, but you didn't hear that from me. Anyways, back to her. I think the fingers were a little weird to me since, I don't really draw like tentacle-like fingers on my characters, so it was definitely like a figure it out moment. I think they definitely ended up quite good though, so good for me. I don't really have much to talk about during this part, so I'm just gonna speed it up. Again, during the colouring, I kept the colours the same. The skin tone seemed quite dark to me, but that's colour theory for you. Like the fact that she seems human, but something is obviously wrong with her. I also like to think that the eyes on her head and on her jumper is like sentient, so kind of like Sir Pentious' hat. Not really part of her, but they still act on her emotions. I should really start writing scripts. I have really nothing to talk about. Also, I'm trying out making longer videos, like it's already went past like 11 minutes and 20 seconds, so I don't know if I said this earlier, but if you do like it, then just please tell me. I think her powers would be like radioactive goop or something, kind of like Mina from My Hero Academia, but it's like ghost paint. I'll show what I mean. Basically that, but like green, teal, or turquoise, whatever color seems to fit her best. Speeding it up again because I don't have anything else to say. This is how she turned out. She is my least favorite one, but I still like her regardless. If you like her, please tell me. Now, on to the Jester girl. This is the one I said wouldn't really fit in with the rest of them because they're not really like unnatural at all. But the thing is, you don't really see what I'm meant to be putting into it. They are kind of like this immortal kind of jester, sort of like the court jester song, I don't know who by. It's by like The Quip or something, however you say it. By the way, you should totally listen to it, it's such a banger. The difference is that they aren't really trying to overpower like a king or anything like that, but they're just kind of there. I mean, sure. I think they definitely made fun of the king a lot when they were a court jester. They didn't really like the king, but they worked for him regardless because of the benefits it had. And they could make fun of him too with his face, and they just couldn't get executed because it would be embarrassing if a king took a joke too literally and just, executed a jester. Real history fact, by the way. I actually thought they looked a little bit like Chihiro from Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. That's just what that quick little flash was. In my mind, they're definitely non-binary because I don't know why, I just thought I saw them and I thought, yes, non-binary. So that's what they are. Also, I'm sorry it took me like a month to release a new video. I just, kept procrastinating. Which, on the topic of Danganronpa, that's what my ultimate would be, the ultimate procrastinator, since I push everything to the side. I think the shoes are the worst part of this drawing because they just look odd to me, they don't look natural. They also sort of remind me of Lily Love braids, but just, a little bit reversed in the shoe section. Also with the purple and the star themings, obviously, so yeah, that's what I think. I just noticed how skinny they look. Hashtag skinny legend. I'm so sorry for the cringe in this video. I'm just trying to be more lively since I have a monotone voice, but it's just not really working for me. Also, I just want to say I have no idea what's going on with the hat. I don't know what the middle part is supposed to be. I've never seen a hat that just has, two whatever you call them, like whole thingies connected together with a bell, but that's, you know, unique, so it might as well. It adds to the silhouette, which is one of the things I struggle with. Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background, she's just playing up. Speeding it up. This is how they turned out. If you like them, please let me know in the comments, and if you have a name for them, please let me know.